Every club. Every day. The Global Sports Podcast Network.
Hello all and welcome to the GSPN Daily Manchester United podcast, brought to you by Zencastr. My name is Sam Brady and I'm all by myself today, reviewing the Manchester United 2-0 loss at Old Trafford to West Ham. And quite frankly, the boys are probably glad that they're not reviewing the game today because let's be fair, it wasn't a good watch at all. As I've mentioned, United coming off the back of a 2-0 loss at home to West Ham. Two teams not going obviously into the game in great form at all. Both teams having really poor seasons. But West Ham, with the 2-0 lead, actually go above United, now down at the bottom half of the table. And yeah, it wasn't a great watch at all. I mean, that's one win in 7 games now for United. You have to go back to the 16th of March away at Leicester, that 3-0 win. I remember, I think Rasmus Højlund got on the score sheet that night. A very different sort of atmosphere and around the club that night. You have to go back to March for our last win. And to be honest, it's just same old with this season. It wasn't a good watch at all. And thing is, straight from the off, that there's just no urgency. There's just no creativity. And it's, yeah, look, there's nothing to play for in the league at the minute. And obviously we've got a big game in just over a week's time in Bilbao against Spurs. And we're coming off the back of a really big win against Bilbao at Old Trafford on Thursday night. So you would think maybe the players would be going into this game against a struggling West Ham side with confidence. Almiron made some rotations as well. Mason Mount got a start. Obviously, he started the game against Brentford and got a goal, and then obviously got 2 on Thursday night. So he was coming into it with great form. And Arno, interestingly, was actually rested for this game, which I found, yeah, a bit interesting. I mean, Bioniq by all means can come in, but yeah, I actually didn't mind the starting 11, to be honest. You had Luke Shaw starting at centre back. Ahmad got his first start in a while off that right wing back position. When we saw Maino and Bruno in the starting 11, we expected maybe Bruno to be pushed forward in that number 10 role, but it actually seemed to the other way around, where Maino was the sort of deep line midfielder next to Agate. Bruno was the deep line with Agate, and Maino was actually the one pushed further forward, and then obviously Rasmus Højlund up top, who's really struggling for form at the minute and can't seem to score to save his life. But I mean, we'll get more on that further on into the episode. But yeah, I mean, it's just so shocking, to be honest. And I mean, look, we lost to Brentford away, and Brentford on their day, especially away, can give any side a real tough game. But you expect to go into this game in front of 75,000 against a struggling West Ham side to have a bit more urgency and to have a bit more, you know what, we're going to go out there and off the back of a great European night on Thursday, we're going to build on this. And the thing is, we've got that massive game in just over a week's time. So we need to start sort of pick up some form, hopefully going into that game. I mean, the only lucky thing for us, I guess, is Spurs also lost today at home as well against Crystal Palace. So that's why it's sort of it's going to be a really interesting game in Bilbao, where we're as bad as each other at the minute. So yeah, I mean, first off, it just wasn't good at all. We created very little. I thought maybe Ahmad off that right-hand side could bring a bit more energy like he normally does and create more chances, but he never really got going. We had a few half chances, and then obviously they get that goal sort of halfway through the first half where Kudos just smashes the ball across, and young Harry Amas, look, he's been He's been okay. This has sort of been his breakthrough season. Almarin's given him a chance, but I thought he did really struggle today on sort of that left hand side. And then obviously Souček flicked it in at the back post. And I just thought all game, to be honest, our defending was shocking. I mean, going forward, we create very little, but that was literally West Ham's first attack of note, and they put it in the back of the net. And as I said, look, it's so night and day between the performance on Thursday night and the performance this afternoon, and it just shows that when we have to win and when there's something to play for, we're really urgent and we're really creative, and there's and also look, the atmosphere was amazing on Thursday night, but also I also felt the Old Trafford atmosphere was a little bit flat, and obviously there's nothing to sort of get behind. We're not creating many chances. But I also feel like because the league is sort of finished at this point for us, it is really a struggle, really, where we're just sort of stumbling over the finish line, it seems like, in the Premier League at the minute. And I mean, with the last two games of the season, with Chelsea away and Aston Villa at home, it looks like it can only get worse, to be honest, because they are two very tough sides on their day. Obviously, we've got Chelsea on Friday night, interestingly, as I mentioned, at Stamford Bridge, and they're pushing for Champions League places. They actually lost today to Newcastle in a crucial game. But yeah, it's going to be a tough Friday night, especially after that performance. I mean, and I get Almiron trying to rotate players and trying to rest players, but I heard Roy Keane talk about it in the week on the overlap in terms of, okay, we've got big games coming up, but obviously we've had big games against Lyon and Bilbao, and now against Spurs in the final. But we can't just throw league games away. It's just, especially against a West Ham side who are struggling themselves. I mean, come on. I mean, as I said, Brentford away, it's a tough game, and even Chelsea next week, tough game. I'd accept a sort of loss in a way to those sort of sides, but West Ham against in front of 75,000 people at Old Trafford, I mean, it's just not really acceptable. And now West Ham have done the double over us this season, so. Yeah, no urgency, no creativity, and in a sunny Manchester, it was very grey and gloomy day at Old Trafford. More on what is to come in the next two Premier League games and what sort of team Almiron is looking to play just after this ad break.
Your body is unique, and Global Sports Podcast Network has partnered with Bioniq, the world's most personalised supplements. Bioniq provide 100% tailor-made supplements designed to deliver precisely what your body needs at exactly the right levels to optimise your health. No guessing. So click the link in the show notes. Use the code GSPN 2025 for 40% off your first month's subscription. Bioniq. Don't settle for off-the-shelf solutions made for just anybody. Get what's right for you right now.
Every club, every day. The Global Sports Podcast Network.
Welcome back to the GSPN Daily Manchester United podcast. This is the post-match review of the United versus West Ham game, where we have just lost 2-0 at home, and it seems like a similar feeling all season. Obviously, as I mentioned in the first part of the show, it seems like we're just trickling over the finish line in the Premier League at the minute, and not really good enough from the players. Once again, same old story, and it's just one of them where Almiron came into this game, rested a few players. Maguire came on, but he was rested from the start. Casemiro was rested. Interestingly, Onana was rested. I actually don't think Bayern did a whole lot wrong. I just think defensively we were atrocious again. I think even in that second half, West Ham seemed to turn a United attack into their attack and seemed to get the second goal through Bowen. And shout out to obviously former Manchester United player Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who actually I thought put in a real shift today at Old Trafford at the detriment of his former club in United. But where does that leave us coming into the end of the season and the 2 games left in the Premier League and, of course, the massive game over in Bilbao? Well, we've got Chelsea on Friday night at Stamford Bridge, and that's really going to be a tough game because they are pushing for Champions League. They've got a whole lot to play for. They're in the Conference League final, which against Real Betis. They got the win over Florentina in the week, and on loanee Anthony seems to be absolutely loving life over there in Betis. His free kick was unbelievable, by the way. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. And it seems like he might be making the permanent move over to Spain in the summer. But yeah, they've got the final in the Conference League, which they'll be looking ahead to as well. But all eyes for them will also be pushing for Champions League. So this is why I do fear for United on Friday night in terms of, again, we don't have anything to play for in the league, and we have that massive Europa League game, 5 days later after that game at Stamford Bridge on Friday night. So I really am going into that game not with a lot of confidence at all. I mean, West Ham didn't even need to play that well today to beat us. I mean, I thought they were quite solid. They were okay going forward. But from a United point of view, I mean, we can't. I thought maybe Ahmad would bring a bit of creativity on that right hand side. Mainu obviously getting another start. I thought he could work a bit of his magic. And don't even get me started on Rasmus Højlund. I mean, look, he picks up a few goals here and there this season, but my God, this guy can't score to save his life. I mean, the amount of chances he had today, one in particular where there's such a lack of sort of intent and urgency in terms of his finishing. I mean, that save from Areola, great save in the second half, but he's got to be burying that. He's about 5 yards away from goal. Just smash it in and we're back in the game. It's 2-1. But in his mind, it seems like he's already scored. So he sort of half tries to just kick it in, and Areola obviously makes a great save. But I mean, honestly, what do you do with him at this point? It worries me because if he wasn't as bad, if he was just a sort of bad run of form, I'd sort of allow it and say, oh, okay, wait in the summer and see who we can bring in, and maybe he can get more opportunities next year. But it's gone on all season, in terms of he's never really hit a period in this season where he's had a good run of form. Sort of where you can look at Bruno, who was okay, had his maybe off games, but consistently been pretty damn good. I mean, Lenny Yoro at the minute, I would say he's on a consistent run of games where even today I thought he was pretty damn good. Rasmus Højlund, no game do I watch him. Granted, he scored against Bilbao, but he couldn't really miss it. And no game do I watch him and go, wow, he was really good that game. And obviously that might be quite harsh. But the thing is that we know as United fans, I feel like there is a player in him because of last season. In the Champions League, he had a great run of form, scoring goals. In the league, he scored a few goals. And I've said this on previous episodes about Rasmus. He is best when he's in that 6-yard area in front of goal and he can finish. When he's in front of goal, I truly do believe he can finish. But so many times he has his back to goal, he's wrestling with defenders, or he's making runs in behind and he's on the touchline and then he passes it off. Granted, today he had a few chances in the 6-yard area and still didn't score. But honestly, I don't know what you do with him. I think potentially a loan move in the summer could be good for him, and like the likes of Anthony, sort of get his confidence back, maybe scoring for another club and see either bring him in or move him on after that loan move. But honestly, we're going to have a struggle, especially against the Spurs side in the final. This is what I'm worried about. Okay, yeah, they have no James Maddison. Yeah, they have no Heung-min Son. But they've got Dominic Solanke who can score some goals. And that's where I feel like we might struggle in that final in just over a week's time, where we've got Ahmad who can create a lot of chances. We've got Bruno who can create a lot of chances. But if we haven't got an out-and-out goal scorer, we are going to really struggle. So that is a position where in the summer we might have to make a move, to be honest. And then we've got our last game of the season is Villa at Old Trafford. And again, they're another team who might need a win on the last day of the season to be pushing those Champions League places. So it's really not looking good for us for the last two games. And the thing is, yeah, we've put all our eggs in this one basket of the Europa League, but I'm just going to put it out there. What happens if we do lose to Spurs in the final? We've thrown away all these games in the past 2-3 months. As I said, you have to go back to March 16th for our last Premier League win. What happens in the worst case scenario when we do lose to Spurs in that final? You look back and you go, we threw away all those games and now we haven't even got Champions League or a trophy to show for it. It is real, and it's the same with Spurs. Granted, they lost today as well against Crystal Palace, but it is a really sort of saviour for our season, this game. Otherwise, you look back at our season and go, it's shocking, really. And the thing is with Almiron, we've got to back him. Obviously, we need to back him in the summer as well to bring in some of the players he needs to play for his system. But if he doesn't win that final, you have to question him and go, you put all your eggs in that one basket and you pretend and you didn't win it if that comes to it. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. In terms of the team selection today, potentially that defense of Luke Shaw, Yoro. I'd still push Mazraoui out on the right wing back and play Ahmad more further forward. I think, yeah, Ahmad is pretty decent in that right wing back position, but I don't want him defending. I want him up the pitch as much as possible, going at fullbacks. In my opinion, you put Mazraoui on right wing back. You do Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw looked okay at centre back, but you do Shaw, Maguire, and Yoro for the three centre backs, and then young Harry Amas. Look, he had a poor game today, and he's been decent throughout the games. Obviously, it's been a bit of a breakout season for him, but for the final, I think you have to sort of bring in Dorgu, which I expect Almiron to do. But it'll be interesting to see the next game against Chelsea. But honestly, against a struggling West Ham side today, it was honestly so poor. As I said, you can sort of allow it if it's against away at Brentford, even though that was pretty shocking last week, or next week away at Chelsea, two decent sides that you expect, all right, it's going to be a tough day at the office. But West Ham at Old Trafford, it's really not good. So where does that put United? It leads them 16th, and the Europa League final opponents, Tottenham Hotspur, in 17th. So it's either going to be the worst game in the world or the best game. But stay tuned for our episodes in the next coming weeks. But for now, I've been Sam Brady, and make sure to follow us on all our socials at GSPN Manchester United, and head over to our YouTube as well, where you can see all of our video content and our previous episodes and our future episodes. But for now, it's goodbye.
Every club, every day. The Global Sports Podcast Network.